How's it going, YouTube? Cody Bernardi here with another YouTube video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the steps I have taken to get a business set up to do federal contracting. Now, before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to my very first sponsor. This video is brought to you by myself. Myself, meaning literally me, makes custom made stickers. Like, I have a vinyl cutter. I make all sorts of cool little die cut stickers. I have a let's see if I could get this thing flipped around. There she is in all of her glory. You can't even, this is, if you could see this right now. Oh shit. There we go. Okay. So yes, like I said, I make custom stickers. They're die cut, meaning that they are one solid color, but I can make little stickers like this one right here that says SpaceX. It's in black. I can make bigger ones like this gold NASA sticker, and I can make big ass windshield banners like this big SpaceX sticker right there. Obviously, I just cut these SpaceX stickers for myself. I don't plan on selling them, but I do take custom orders over $20. If you spend 20 bucks, you could get any sticker you want with any logo. You can have it say whatever you want with any font. Just go on dafont.com, pick out a font, and let me know which one you want. To place an order, I will put an email address down below. Basically, just send me very basic details, a PNG, preferably high quality, or an SVG, or any sort of vector format. Your preferred method of payment. I prefer Venmo or PayPal. If you want to do Bitcoin or whatever, I'm willing to do that. And an address you want me to ship it to. No, I'm not going to your house or anything like that. It's public record anyway, so if I was really curious, I could probably figure it out myself, but I'm not going to be doing that to you guys. So if you want stickers, let me know. Like this NASA sticker right here will cost $4 shipped. I will ship this sticker to you for $4. So let me know down in the comments down below. So with that intro and my first sponsor out of the way, today I want to talk about getting a business signed up to do federal contracting. Now, I know this is outside of the realm of my typical videos where I talk about cybersecurity and OSINT and everything like that. Well, my business is going to be cybersecurity focused and intelligence focused. This can apply to any sort of business. Now, I haven't landed any contracts yet. I'm still in the process of getting all of that sorted out. But I have gotten to a point now where I feel somewhat comfortable to explain the process and the steps I've taken to get my business registered to do contracting with the government. So first thing that you need to do is, if you want to do any sort of contracting, whether that's prime or subcontracting, and I'll get into what those terms mean later on, with the federal government, and when I say federal government, I mean the United States federal government, is to set up a business and a corporation. What I mean by that is, well, your business cannot be a sole proprietorship. You need to have a entity structure like an LLC, an S Corp, or whatever. So my business, Blackburn Security LLC, is formed as a limited liability company. So the way you get that set up, you just Google registered agent, register your business in the state of preference. A lot of people go for Delaware or Nevada, but go with the state that you feel most comfortable with. So once you get your business all set up, you'll get I believe this is state agnostic, but at least in the state I'm in, Washington State, you get a UBI number. A UBI number is a unique business identifier. I think that's what it is. It's basically just I think it's like a 9-digit code, and that code is specific to your business. So once you get a UBI number, you're good to go to work in the state that you're in, as long as you don't need any sort of extra certifications. In my case, cybersecurity, I don't need any other extra state certifications. So once you get your UBI number and LLC all made, then make sure that you get your federal employee ID number. This is called a EIN or TIN, one of the two. You get that through the IRS. I'll put a link down below how to do that. It's basically like a social security number for your business. So once you get that, then you can move on to the next step. Next step is to get what is called a DUNS number. DUNS number is issued out by Dun & Bradstreet, And this is kind of like a credit score for your business. Now, I know the federal government is doing away with DUNS numbers in the future. I don't know too much about that. I just got my DUNS number, and that's all I needed. A quick little hint about getting your DUNS number: if you do not specify you're only working for the federal government, it could take up to 30 days to get your DUNS number. What I did is I actually just called them and told them I'm only doing federal contracts. I got my DUNS number within 48 hours. So I would highly suggest going down that route. Once you get your DUNS number, then you go to sam.gov, System for Award Management. And this is where you register your business to basically bid on federal contracts. There is a ton of steps to get your business certified on there. I'm still sitting as submitted. I'm just waiting to get what is called a cage code. There's so much to this. It's insane. I've spent weeks just trying to figure out this stuff. So I got my business verified by the IRS, meaning that the TIN number and DUNS number and all that stuff matched up just fine. But I'm not going to go down that route. So you register with SAM. You'll be put into a submitted state for about 10 days while the government kind of validates everything. And when I say 10 days, I mean 10 business days. So it's going to be a little bit longer than just 10 days. It's going to be 2 business weeks. So once you get through all of that, once you're in submitted, there's some other things you can do in the meantime. The next thing I would recommend is to get a business website. So register a domain and get hosting. It doesn't matter where you host it. It could be a very basic website. You could get a website template at like w3layouts.com or something like that and just make your website. Whatever you want to do. For me, it's cybersecurity, focusing on vulnerability management, incident response, or I guess digital forensics and incident response, SOC, like all that stuff. So get your website all made with all that stuff. And then in your contact section, make sure you have your DUNS number. And then we're going to talk about NAICS codes. Trust me, there's a lot to it, but I'm making this video to benefit anyone curious and wants to know all of this stuff. You're going to put all your basic company info in there. So once you get your website all made, it's probably going to take a while. And honestly, if you're brand new, it's probably not going to matter as much, especially since you're going to be starting out. You're probably going to be subcontracting, which means that there's 2 kinds of contracts in the federal government. You have the prime contractor. That's the organization that deals directly with the government. And then you have subcontractors. So those will be contractors dealing with the prime contractor. So big prime contractors that we're all probably familiar with: Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Booz Allen Hamilton, like the list goes on and on. So if you're going to be, it's going to be easier for you to subcontract and get some credentials or some work experience working for a prime contractor as a sub. So anyways, get your business made. Now, while you get that made, what I would recommend is looking into what is called a capability statement. Now, if you're a brand new business, this is going to be more resume focused, meaning, well, you're a brand new business and you don't have any sort of company experience dealing with the other companies. It's going to be business to business type stuff. So a capability statement is basically like a company resume, and you're going to lay it out in a way, and I'll put my capability statement in the show notes so you could just take a look. And it's a draft. Like, I'm still trying to work out on getting a logo and all that, but it's basically what you're able to do and how you're better than other organizations. So you build that out. Once you build out your capability statement, then I would recommend, and I actually would highly recommend, reaching out to your local PTAC. What does PTAC stand for? I just know the term, but I don't know what it actually stands for. It's like I'm back in the military all over again. Oh, you're going to join the IRR, blah, blah, blah. Procurement Technical Assistance Center. So this is basically local help centers that are funded by the SBA, Small Business Administration, and their whole job, and it's a totally free service. Like, you don't got to pay for this. Sorry, take that back. You do pay for it with your tax dollars, but basically they will help you out from basically step 0 all the way to getting your first contract, and they're a continued resource. So I reached out to my PTAC. They, I guess, educated me on a ton of things I've never heard of before. I actually have it in my notes right here. So Like for myself, I'm going to be researching CMMC stuff. I'm not going to get into that right now, but reach out to your PTAC. That's PTAC, Papa Tango Alpha Charlie. So look that up and reach out to them. Call them, email them, just get something going. So with that, once you reach out to your PTAC statement or PTAC and you have your capability statement built, well, before you do your capability statement, research what NAICS codes, that's NAICS codes. These are kind of like, I think it's like 5-digit numbers that are associated with a certain specialty. So what I did is I found someone that's currently in the cybersecurity space, Red Team Security. They have their NAICS codes, and these aren't specific to any organization. You could just look up NAICS, and you can find NAICS codes that might be somewhat, I guess, tailored to what you want to do. So like on Red Team Security, like their NAICS codes are 541690 Security Consulting Services, 541990 Professional Scientific and Technical Services, and 519190 All Other Information Services. And I basically just use those. So those are my NAICS codes. I'm sure I could find more because there's going to be contracts issued out there that are going to be probably not those, but probably something I'm able to do. So, but anyways, so those are NAICS codes, and you'll have to actually list those out when you're going through SAM. So I should probably put that at the very beginning of the video, but just look up NAICS codes. They're online. And then once you find out your NAICS codes and you get them in your capability statement and website, where is Discord? And then and then for subcontracting, the Small Business Administration has a website called Subnet. And Subnet is basically exactly what it is. It's linking subcontractors with prime contractors. Now, prime contractors will have outreach events. I don't know how that's going on with COVID right now. So I don't know how that's going on. But they do have those outreach events. So it will take some investment on your part to go out to those. And I was told a few other things that are kind of, or one thing that's specific to security. It's called CMMC, and that's what my PTAC counselor told me about. It's basically a certification that all contractors dealing with the government and handling, I think, unclass, all the way up to, Q level, TSSCI level sort of information, has to get a CMMC clearance or CMMC certification. And I can, from the basic research I've done, it's kind of like a PCI like sort of thing. So PCI, if you don't know what that is, that's payment card industry. If you're going to be a business taking in Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Diners, like all of the big credit card processing companies, you have to be PCI compliant. So from the looks of it, CMMC is kind of the same thing, but working with the government and handling, I believe, unclass up to TSSCI information. And private companies can do those audits similar to what PCI does. You have like a QSA doing PCI. You'll have like a CMMC certifier. So that's like a thing that I might be interested in doing, certifying businesses to work with the federal government. So that's something I found out. And then there was in a Discord channel that I made, and I'll put a link to that down below if anyone's interested in starting their own business in government contracting. It's called DIBS, DIBBS. I haven't explored it too much. The website was kind of poorly made. But that's another thing out there to find very cheap level experience, or cheap level, not cheap level, but low paying compared to prime contracts, like $5,000 to $20,000 contracts that you might be able to take on. I haven't looked into too much, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But yeah, those are just some resources that I have come across. And then insurance policies, that's going to vary significantly with, I guess, what contracts you're picking up. So here's some other terminologies you're going to have to learn. So RFI, request for information, RFP, request for proposals, RFQ, request for questions, And you're going to see these things all the time. So I'll put a link down below to like some sample RFIs, RFPs, RFQs. But basically, this is what the government is putting out. They're saying we need a contractor to fulfill these needs, and you need to like basically do all of this. And another thing you'll have to look into is called FAR, Federal Acquisition Regulation. So if you're going to be doing business with the government, this is kind of what you can and can't do as far as I'm concerned. So I'll put a link down to that down below. If you actually just go to acquisition.gov, that will be where the FAR is. And then the DoD has the DFAR, which is like their own little subset of that. So that was a lot. I know. I'm sorry. This is everything I've had to do in the past like couple months. And then, like I said, insurance, it'll be in the I guess the proposal or the solicitation by the government. So you'll have to have those insurance levels. So you're probably gonna have to have general liability insurance, CEO. I think it's like CEO or principal or governor, something like that, insurance. And then some minor things I've learned, like you have to have like a certain auto liability insurance, because if you're going to be driving on base or some, I don't know, it's just like some nuanced stuff that this is something your PTAC should definitely be able to assist further on. I'm not qualified to be honestly talking about most of the stuff. These are just some hurdles that I had to come across ever since starting Blackburn Security LLC. So with that, if you enjoy, I mean, I'm not going to be really making too much content about this. So most of my stuff is technically based, cybersecurity, blue team, red team, OSINT stuff. But if you want more content about, you know, me setting up my business, how everything is going with that, then, you know, leave a comment down below. If you're more interested, or if you want to see some videos of me making stickers, if you want a video of me making your stickers, I can do that for you. The colors I have right now, I have black, gold, white, silver, and red. And I can always get more. Like I could get like all these freaking exotic colors like sparkle red. Like whatever you want, I could make. I'm sorry I keep plugging that. But yeah, that is it for this video. If you can leave a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and share this with like every person you know. And also, Black Lives Matter. Thank you. So I'm making this excerpt at like the next day because I left out a whole portion of, I guess, resources that I just did not even talk about yesterday. So you do all of this and now you're kind of curious, what are you worth? Like, what can you charge? What are other companies charging for the services that you're able to do yourself? Well, there's two ways that I have gone about looking at how much money has been spent on at least the things that I want to do. So the one website where it shows previous purchases is usaspending.gov. And you just go there, you do a keyword search, and you can just type in whatever service or product that you're able to offer. One note is if the service that you offer is like 2 words, so in my case, vulnerability management, make sure you put that in quotations because it will read vulnerability and management, and you'll get all sorts of results. Another website to check for open solicitations by the government is beta.sam.gov. I know this isn't going to age well since that's the beta site, but as of making this video, on June 4th, 2020, it's beta.sam.gov, and you're able to see open solicitations. And in there, they'll tell you the basic requirements in there. And then another thing that I didn't even mention, and it's like a big part of all of this, is getting business certifications. And what I mean by that is if your business is, and this applies to 51% or more ownership, if it's veteran owned, service disabled veteran owned, minority owned, women owned, hub zone, 8A, like all of these certifications are, I guess, you're able to get if you meet those qualifications. And what that basically means is the government sets aside certain contracts or subcontracts. I know prime contracts, and I know that prime contractors also have to meet some requirements for subcontracting and meet like some of these requirements, but basically these are certifications your business can have if it is 51% or more owned by one of these categories. So I'll put a link down below. Like, my business is veteran-owned small business. So I'll put a link down below if you're a veteran and you want to start your own business, how to get certified by the VA. Now I'm going to pause the video real quick. I also want to make note, if you do not meet any of those requirements, if you're not a veteran, if you're not a minority or a woman, you could still get a certification for a small business certification. And I don't know the requirements for that off the top of my head. I'll put a link down below, but basically if it's just yourself and it's like a legit small business, you could probably get that small business certification, and you could still get some set-asides for small businesses. So I'll put a link down to that below. So yeah, that's it for this video. Sorry about the little excerpt at the very end. I totally forgot all of this stuff. But anyways, y'all have a good day. Goodbye.